What's good, YouTube? It's your boy GTheDon, and I'm back with another video. And today I'm going to be doing a Pokemon rankings / tier list of typings. Now, when I put something in, like S tier or whatever, take Bug for example, not going to be S tier. If I put it above Dragon, it's in the same tier, I'm going to believe Bug is better. Further to the left is better, further to the right it's worse. But Bug is not S tier, neither is Dragon. But I think I want to start from... I just go in order, I guess, from here. Now, Bug is genuinely the worst type in the game. It really, like, I'm not the best with the type charts. I'm going to be going over here. But Bug, I believe, is only effective against Dark and Psychic Mons. It is weak to a lot of things. I don't also think it has any resist. Now, Bug is weak to Fire, Rock, I forgot Bug's good against Grass, too. But yeah, geez, it's not effective against, like, anything. Oh, my God. And it's, yeah, Fire, Rock, Flying, super weak, too. And Fire and Flying, very common typings. Rock is, but there are times it'll be up there. And then, I guess Ground and Fighting. Not very effective against Bug. That is kind of nice. But you're not doing much damage to anybody. No one runs a real Bug-type Pokemon except for, like, Scissor. And people were using him for Bullet Punch and his Steel type. So, he's okay. Now, next up, Dragon. I'm gonna put Dragon A tier. He might change up once more things get on here. But Dragon's so nice. It resists so much, except for Fairy and Steel, I believe, and Ice. Now, Dragon being weak to Fairy, Steel, Ice, or it's not weak to Fairy, Steel, and Ice, but it's weak to itself, it's weak to Ice, and it's weak to Fairy. It's not effective against Steel, but it does normal to more damage to everything else, but also Fairy. Fairy just immune to it. So, I mean, Dragon's not super effective against much besides itself, as you can see, but most Dragon-type Mons are some of the better Pokemon in the game. Without Fairy, they were the best type in the game. They were just running rampant. It was insane. Like, when I was a kid playing Pokemon, if I get Dragonite, it's not an issue. He's soloing the rest of the game for me. Except if I run into an Ice type, but I always had another Pokemon myself counter Ice types, another Fire type or something. Dark type, I like it due to its Prankster immunity. Don't know if it's the best. I'm gonna give it... Don't know if I want to be. It might get moved around. Immune, it has nice immunity. Immune to Psychic, which is it's an okay type. It used to be very prevalent back in the day. Not as much. Super effective against Psychic, which is nice. The Psychic can't really counter it. Very effective against Ghost, which is nice because Pokemon like Fluttermane are running around. Ghost types are pretty solid moves. But it is weak to Fighting, Bug, which no one really cares about, and Fairy. Yes, Fairy is crazy typing. It's insane, annoying. Very popular typing as well. So it does drag it down a bit, especially with Fighting. Fighting is a pretty solid... It's out there, even if people aren't running a mainly Fighting-type Pokemon. Fighting moves are on a lot of Pokemon. They're very strong moves. They're very nice. Some of them have drawbacks, but, like, Urshfu's, both types are some of the most used Pokemon in the game right now. They're everywhere. Fluttermane, everywhere. There's no way running into a team without one of them. So this does drag down Dark typing. Decent amount. But it's still a good type. It's immune to Psychic. It's immune to Prankster Pokemon, which is very nice with Thundurus, Tornadus running around. It's just a nice thing to have, but the type itself, attacking, not that nice. It's not effective against itself, which most aren't. Not effective against Fairy, which is a very strong typing. It's not effective against Fighting, which is pretty solid typing. Now, is it better than Electric? I'm gonna say no. But Electric is also a very mediocre type. Electric is only weak to Ground. So there are Pokemon like Electros who have Levitate. You're not weak to anything. And with Terra now, you can, say you have Cresselia, you can Terra Electric. Not getting hit by ground moves. You have no weakness. But all you're hitting very effectively is Water, I believe. And that's it. Water and Flying, my bad. Flying is a very common type, too. But you're not effective against yourself, again. You're not effective against Grass, which there's a lot of Grass Pokemon. People are even tearing into Grass. You're not effective against Dragon. Ground moves, they hurt. You can't even hit ground Pokemon in general, which there's a decent amount of as well. You're not effective against Steel, which is also one of the best types. So, I don't know. Or, Steel's not very effective against you, I mean, which is nice, because that's not a very... That's a very common type out there, but most electric Pokemon, base stat-wise, they're not built that well. They're very fast, but they're also frail. So, this type itself, like if you can put on Cresselia, it's nice. Cresselia's sitting there for a long time. It already sits there for a long time as is, but giving it no weaknesses makes it even crazier, but there are better Terra types for it. So, Electric is B tier. Electric moves are very nice to have running, but electric Pokemon, man. Fairy's a straight S tier. It's immune to dragons. It is weak, or it's not weak to fire, but it does not hit fire, which is a very common type as well, with very effective moves. It's weak to steel, which is crazy, but it's a nice counter. But I mean, you're weak to fire, flying, dragon, dark. Again, very mix that together, very common. You also want a fairy Pokemon on every team for cores, such as like you want a fairy, steel, and dragon, mythical core. But you're not effective against fire, poison. No one really cares about. It's not much poison. I like poison, but it's not out there much. And steel. Dragons can't hit you. You're just striking them down. Fighting, bug, and dark. Not effective against you. Bug, who cares? Fighting, kind of cares. It's a lot of Pokemon run it. Dark, you kind of care for moves like Sucker Punch. And then Steel and Poison being the only things that really are super effective. There's not many Poison moves running around. Steel Pokemon, they run around like crazy. But honestly, you can kind of pivot around it. Fairy Pokemon are just very busted. There's no way you don't have a Fairy Pokemon on your team. They're just insane. Fluttermane has been dominating this Scarlet and Violet game. It is just everywhere. So, that's mostly due to that Fairy typing. Ghost Pokemon are good, but Ghost being mixed with Fairy, which is nice for it. Since, Fighting was already doing nothing to Fairy. Now it's really doing nothing, but it's insane. Especially with moves like Dazzling Gleam, coverage, hit both Pokemon. You just hit everything. Even in game, Fairy is just nice. It's saved so many Pokemon's careers. Like Togekiss saved him. It saved Clefairy. It's insane. Now fighting is nice, but I believe it's C tier. The moves themselves are nice, but fighting is just weak to so much other coverage moves itself. It's not even funny. Like, fighting Pokemon can be very effective. Don't get me wrong, but you're strong against normal. You're the only one against normal, which is a plus, I guess. Strong against ice. Ice sucks. Ice is effective against something. It's a very hard-hitting offensive type, don't get me wrong, but defensively it sucks. Ice is weak to so much. Strong against rock. Not many rocks. Let's be honest. There's like Tyranitar, which I love, and he's also sadly mixed with Dark, which is also weak. Gives him quad weakness. But Steel, very nice counter, but mostly you're running fighting moves on other Pokemon to deal with Steel. You're weak against, or you're not effective against Poison, which kind of, not much Poison. You're not strong against Flying. There's a lot of Flying. You're not strong against Psychic. There's not much Psychic Pokemon out there, but there's a lot of Psychic coverage. You're not strong against Bug. No one cares. Whatever. Fairy. That's a big issue since Fairy is probably top 2, top 3 effectiveness in this game. And you can't hit Ghost Pokemon at all, which is another big issue. You're not very effective against Bug, who cares? Bug's not very effective against you, who cares? Rock's not very effective against you, who cares? Dark's not very effective against you. Kind of matters. Not really. But you're weak to Flying, Fairy, and Psychic. I believe I said that already. Those are just trash. That's kind of bad. Like, they're everywhere. Every team is running that. Especially since Flying is such a prevalent attack / type of Pokemon. Now, Fire, I believe, is going to be top of A tier. No, it's not. I don't think it's moving. Yes, it's weak to water. Yes, it's weak to ground. Yes, it's weak to rock. But I believe that's it. Fire is just insane. Yeah. You're weak to 3 things. Now, Fire does have a lot of mixed typings with other Pokemons, which can hurt it, but this is just Fire type in general. You're strong against Grass. Super nice. Ice, And Bug, meh, who cares? But Steel, that's very important due to the fact that Steel is a very good typing. It's everywhere. You also, you're not effective against Fire. Who cares? Water, it can suck somewhat. You can kind of avoid it with Terraning now. You're not effective against Rock, which is not really an issue with you. Dragon, whatever. You can just Will-O-Wisp them, hopefully. But the types that aren't effective against you, Fire, yeah. Grass, that's huge. Ice, it kind of matters if someone wants a Blizzard spam, but not really. Bug, doesn't really matter. Steel not being able to affect you much, and Fairy not being able to affect you much, those are probably the two best typings in the game. So, Fire type is very nice, especially with some of the Fire Pokemon like Arcanine, Intimidate, other people that are doing like physical attack damage. Not doing too much, but you're not weak to much, honestly. You're weak to very prominent types that are running around, but you can kind of switch around. But Fire, just being able to counter the two best, honestly, it's insane. Now Flying, it's very strong, so I think it's gonna be top of B tier. You do a lot to Bug, you do a lot to Grass, you do lots of Fighting. But that is, I believe, it. You do resist ground Pokemon, which is nice. Not being able to get hit by like an Earthquake, if you can switch in on that, crazy. You are weak to Rock though, which again, Rock Pokemon themselves aren't out there. But Rock typing moves, they're out there a decent amount. You're weak to Electric, which does suck because Electric's a very good coverage typing move, and you're not effective. You're also weak to Ice. Which, I mean, yeah, it's not that, but there are moves that a lot of Pokemon run some sort of Ice move to either slow you down or just Blizzard spam, which can get annoying. But, I mean, you're not effective against Electric, which is meh. You're not effective against Rock, again, kind of doesn't matter. But not being effective against Steel does hurt this typing a lot, because Steel is one of the most prominent. But you are able to hit a lot of other things for just base damage. The things that you're not really hitting, again, I would say two of them, most people aren't sending out that kind of just strict typing of Pokemon, which saves you a bit. Steel typing, yeah, that sucks, but everything else being able to hit for a relatively decent amount is nice. Now, Ghost typing, it's good, but I don't think it's B tier. I want to put it top of... Actually, I'll put it bottom of B. It's weak to itself, it's weak to Dark, it's weak to Psychic. I believe that's it. But it also does come with an immunity. Immunities are just so nice in Pokemon. Just normal type not being able to hit you is kind of nice. You're dodging Fake Out. There are relatively strong normal moves that are just out there that people use. Yeah, it sucks. And the only thing that you're not hitting for a good amount of damage is Dark. Well, and I guess normal. You can't hit normal Pokemon with Ghost moves. They can't hit you with normal moves. But you also have another immunity in Fighting. Fighting moves can't hit you. Those Fighting and normal are two very effective things to dodge. There are certain Pokemon that run like Fake Out and Fighting moves. And for guys like Urshifu, where Fighting is the main type, you're not getting hit with very effective or very strong like close combats. So nice you can just sub in this Pokemon and kind of waste a turn, in effect for a player, if they're not reading it effectively. But Ghost is just nice. Now, Ghost, I mean, Poison and Bug are the two types that aren't very effective against you. Meh. Now, Ghost types are usually kind of frail, but the typing in general is just nice. But Bug and Poison, I mean, there's four things that really you don't care about. Like, two you genuinely don't care at all. They can go for hitting you. Sometimes Pokemon get stuck in these moves. They just can't touch you for the rest of the game. It's nice. Now, Grass is A tier for me. Very nice move. Or, not move. Just very nice type in general. Due to the fact Amoonguss cannot affect you. Redirection from, not Follow Me. Follow Me still affects you, but, Spore moves, I guess they're called. So nice to just not care about. Now, yes, you are weak to Fire. Very prevalent type. You're weak to ice. Kind of does and doesn't matter. You you kind of care. You care about poison, but a lot of grass Pokemon are also mixed with poison, so you kind of, in turn, also don't care. Flying you care about, which does suck, and bug you care about, doesn't matter. So like, 3 of these things really kind of scare you, and are kind of prevalent, but it's not too bad. One of them is very, very scary, like fire, which is very scary. But you're super effective against water, which is very nice typing. Super effective against ground, very popular typing. And rock, not popular, but whatever. You're not effective against, of course, fire, grass, poison, flying, bugs, dragon, and steel. These do suck, but you can also do things like spore. You can spore everyone but a grass Pokemon, which is very annoying. You put them to sleep. It's a grass type move. So nice. But water not being able to really hurt you is very nice. Electric is also very nice. Grass yourself, very nice. And grass is just a nice counter to itself. It's like not being able to put itself to sleep. And ground. 3, I would say all of these matter. Yes, I put electric lower, but that's due to the type of Pokemon. Electric moves are very prevalent and they do hurt. But these are all 4 moves that you will see in a competitive game. You will see all of these type of moves. So very nice. I kind of want to put them above Dragon. Not really. A little bit. They're very close to me. Ground, I do believe, is going to be the bottom of A tier. Very nice. It's just this deals a lot of damage to a lot of things. It hits steel like crazy. Steel again is a top. It's a spoiler, but it's going to be top 2. Everyone kind of knows steel is just him. But you're strong against fire. The best typing in A tier. One of the best. It's like a top 3 typing. Strong against electric. Kind of matters. Kind of matters. Kind of doesn't matter. Electric is this prevalent typing somewhat, but I'll say it matters. Poison, not really, but kind of. If someone does have a hard counter with poison to fairies, and you are annoyed by them. Rock kind of matters, kind of doesn't matter. Steel, yes, the big one. Now, you not being effective against grass kind of does suck. Bug, no one cares. You also just, in general, cannot hit a flying type, which does hurt you a little bit since they are able to just switch in. And they can do not effective and not effective damage. They're just doing base damage to you, which can suck. But you are also immune to something, which is electric. Like I said before, electric can be very annoying. You can't get paralyzed. You just can't be hit by electric moves. So you can kind of switch this guy in if you need to. Very nice. Now, and then poison and rock not being very effective against you. It's kind of okay, whatever. But most other moves are neutral damage to you. The only ones that are hitting you hard are water and grass. Now, those are very prevalent. Water, grass, and ice. Those are very prevalent. But you can kind of get around it, especially since you just have such hard-hitting moves on ground. I don't know why they did it. It's nice, but it's also very kind of balanced out. But you can just hit like a truck if you can. But being weak to those moves does drop low A tier for me. Now, ice, it's also D. I don't know if I really need to talk about it. Very nice offensively, but defensively, oh my god, this typing is horrible. If you have an ice Pokemon, you're tearing out of that shit. Like, that shit is ass. You're not staying ice. You're not effective against fire, very prevalent. Not effective against water, very prevalent. Not effective against ice, doesn't matter. But not effective against steel, very prevalent. Those are like top tier level typings. You're strong against grass, yes, that's nice. You're strong against ground, that's nice. Strong against flying, that's nice. Strong against dragon, that is nice. But you can carry almost an ice move on any other Pokemon. You don't need an ice type because you're going to be weak to fire, very prevalent. You're weak to fighting, very prevalent. Type move, at least. You're weak to rock, kind of prevalent. And you're weak to steel, very prevalent yet again. Like, defensively, you're just getting hit hard by everything that isn't ice. Like, these 4 are doing super effective. The other ones are hitting, but at just normal rates. Like, your only resistance to one type, and it's yourself. Sucks. Especially when this type is just, no one's running real ice types. Like, maybe Articuno's out there. It's like a meme-ish kind of thing. But it's dumb. And then on to the next Pokemon, normal. or next type is normal. I don't know why I said Pokemon. Normal is nice, kind of. It's nice in the sense that only one thing hits you for super effective, which is fighting, and you're immune to ghost type moves, which is cool. But you're not super effective against anything, so you're not applying pressure really. You can be kind of a wall type Pokemon, but everything is doing base level damage. You're not resisting attacks. They're just hitting you and hitting you and hitting you. It's not like you're taking anything well. And then fighting, which is it's a prevalent move type again. It's not a very prevalent Pokemon, but move type. A lot of Pokemon carry fighting move types. So you're pressured all the time as a normal type Pokemon. Like, something could just be carrying a fighting type, boom, 1 or 2 hits, you're gone. You didn't apply much pressure back. And you're weak to steel, or you're not effective against steel, which matters. In rock, kind of doesn't matter, but you're not applying enough pressure to really do anything, but you're also not as bad as Ice and Bug. There should honestly be like another gap between Ice and Bug. They're like F tier. They should not be on the list. Now, Poison, I have a personal preference to it because I did play Pokemon Fire Red. That was like my first Pokemon game, and Poison types were everywhere. But Poison is also a C tier. Better than normal, I believe. But it's kind of like a bad type at the same time. It's weak to Psychic, which sucks, and it's weak to Ground. But, that's 2 types, okay. But you can't affect a Steel type Pokemon, which again is a top 2 Pokemon. Like, you're not hit, like, it's insane. You hit Fairy in return, which is very nice. Very effective against Fairy. You're very effective against Grass. Which is kind of nice, but kind of not. Because Grass typing, a lot of those are just Grass Poison type Pokemon. So kind of, meh. But with Terras, if you're hitting a Grass straight up, it's nice. But you're just not doing enough to many things. Like, yeah, you resist a decent amount, let's be honest. Grass resist is nice. A fighting resist is nice. A poison resist, eh. A bug resist, no one cares. A fairy resist, very nice. But you're not hitting steel. You're not resisting steel. They're just hitting you back. So, it's like, it just sucks. And like, a ground move is just taking you out the game. You're not doing anything to ground Pokemon, which sucks. You're not doing anything to rock Pokemon, who cares? You're not doing anything to ghost Pokemon. So it's just kind of like, you're a cool counter to Fairy and Grass. Fairy part matters, but you can just run a poison move. Don't run a poison Pokemon. Psychic. That's actually, I think it might be top of C. It's a cool typing, very important move, honestly, for what it can hit. But the type itself, it's just, on your Pokemon, is meh. You're hitting fighting Pokemon, which is very nice, and you're hitting poison Pokemon, which is meh. But you're not hitting Steel, again. You're not hitting yourself, which, that's every type, but like, Steel, such a huge deal. And then you're not hitting Ghost, or you can't touch Dark Pokemon. Someone can just summon a Dark Pokemon on you and you're screwed. You have to like, either focus on a different Pokemon, or you have to sub out. So like, in games, that sucks if you have to pivot your Pokemon out, and they can just attack, and they probably know you're going to move, and they might be able to read something. But, like, it just sucks. Like, yes, being effective against fighting is so nice. But then again, you're weak to Ghost, and you're weak to Dark, and you can't even do anything about Dark. Bug, no one cares. And then you're hitting a lot of things, okayly. But just not being able to do anything to Steel, and a whole type just being able to just straight up not care about you, it's insane. Rock typing, though, I love rock types. I love my Tyranitar, but they are very, very bad. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna move them up to right below. They're very bad, but I don't know if they're bottom 5 bad, especially just due to weather. If you can get a Sandstorm, is very nice because you're not taking any damage, and your special defense got a buff. Now, you're also... Steel is not being affected by your Sandstorm, and Ground is also not being affected by your Sandstorm. But they're not getting the benefits that a Rock type is, which is kind of nice. But that's up, you're not chipping them. But just chip from Sandstorm is very nice on a bunch of Pokemon. Your special defense being buffed is nice, especially since you're weak to water, which is usually a special type attack. You're weak to grass, again, usually a special attack task. Fighting, it's going to hit, it's going to hurt. Ground is also going to hurt, which sucks because ground is more prevalent than rock, and you're not doing anything to them chip-wise. Same with steel, which sucks being weak against steel, that's why it's lower. I would like to put it up a tier, but I just know it's not. Tyranitar is only good because space stats. Let's be honest, the rest of the rock-type Pokemon, Colossal, I think he's also good, but he's more of like a gimmick type thing. They're set up in ways where they're by far away the best rock-type Pokemon. The rest of the rock-type Pokemon, no one uses unless it's Lycanroc, and he has to be in Sandstorm to be getting use. But you're weak against, or you're strong against fire, which is very nice. Strong against ice, kind of doesn't matter. Strong against flying, again, very nice. Strong against bug, no one cares. You're not strong against fighting, very prevalent type of move. You're not strong against ground, prevalent type of move. Steel, very prevalent type of move. Normal's not hitting you hard. Fire's not hitting you hard. Poison, who cares? Same with kind of normal, but not really, because normal type moves are out there. And then flying's not hitting you hard. Very nice. It's just, you're kind of weak to a lot that matters. The special defense in Sandstorm does help, but if Sandstorm goes away, let's be honest, Rock slides down, like down here. But when you have the Sandstorm up, Rock moves up. It's just, if you're going to use Rock, use Sandstorm. I would like to have it in B, but it's biased. Steel, second best type in the game. Actually, I think it's the best type in the game. It's so... oh my god. It just kills the second best type in the game, which is Fairy. And it's like such a nice thing. Fairy is kind of... It's not everywhere, but it's everywhere. But you resist so damn much. Now, the things you're super effective against, I'm going to start there. It's okay. Fairy's the only thing that really matters. Like rock and ice, you're not seeing that much. Not being effective against fire, water, electric, and yourself, though, is kind of hindering. Like, those are very prevalent types of Pokemon, except for electric. Still a good type, but the other three are very prevalent. But that immunity to poison kind of buffs it back up again, which is, it's just being immune to something is it's just so nice. Being able to switch on something or read something and move here or move there, and just maybe a certain Pokemon just can't really hit you for anything. It's beautiful. But the thing that makes Steel the best is just nothing. There's three things that hit it hard: fire, fighting, and ground. Yes, those are very prevalent types of moves. Fire, just straight up, that's why it's one of the best. It's the third best type. Like, it just hits this type so hard. While also being able to resist the second best type, which was Fairy. But Steel resists normal, grass, ice, flying, psychic, bug, rock, dragon, steel, and fairy. Now, the ones that matter: grass, flying, dragon, steel, fairy. That's 5 very important types. And all those types are higher tier types. Like, that's insane. The only, super high tier type is fire, and I guess ground. But it's insane. There's only 3 things that really scare you when you're bringing in a steel type. And everything else you just kind of shrug off. Like, who cares? And then the other, most effective, prevalent thing that you would be scared of, fairy, steel just doesn't even worry about it. It's... That's why Pokemon like Heatran, the mix of Fire Fairy, is insane. Whew. Now, Water type. Man, I love me some Water type. I don't know if it's better than Grass. I would say they're on par. It's just... Water type is such a, nice defensive type, while also being a pretty solid offensive type. Super aggressive against Fire. Third best type in the game, honestly. Super effective against ground. Another top, 7 or 8 type. It's just a top tier type. Rock, meh. Now you're not effective against yourself. It kind of doesn't matter. Not effective against Grass, which does suck. Not effective against Dragon. But Dragon doesn't really worry about many things. But it's also kind of... You can take care of Dragon somewhat. But Dragon's such a high... It's like what? I think I had it the 4th best type in the game. Very nice. Now, Fire not being effective against you is crazy. Ice, who cares? Water, kind of like, it's yourself. Steel, you resist Steel. One of the best types in the game. Now, the things that you care about: Electric and Grass. Electric and Grass moves are kind of everywhere, but there's 2 things you really are afraid of, while some of the other things you're not afraid of are also very commonly type run moves. And Steel, the best type in the game. Like, it's insane. Now, this is my type, and again, left on a tier is better. So, like, Steel is 1, Fairy's 2, and then it drops down, Fire is 3, Dragon's 4, so on and so on. If you guys believe different, let me know in the comments. Also, while you're down there, leave a like, subscribe. I like these types a lot. I think I did a good job rating these. Now, some of these bottom tier ones you can debate, move around. These 2, don't even try to debate me. Like, I swear, these are the worst types in the game. But, thanks for coming to another video. I'm going to see you guys later. Peace.